Okay, here we go. We are moving into the second half of the semester. We are moving from east to west. More about that later. Midterm exam. We are now past the midterm exam. Most of you did pretty well. Maybe that means I made it too easy. I hope not. I don't know. But at any rate, it looks like you're learning some things about the major traditions, the major religious traditions of the world, and that's what matters. Um, you should, at this point, be able to go on the eLearn site for this course and see your grade thus far in this course. Now, please understand, as an instructor, what I see looks a little different from what you see. I think what you're going to see, if you go to the home page and you go to course information and you click on grades, I think you're going to see there every item that you've been graded on thus far. And then when you get to the end of it, I think you're going to see a fraction out of 60. Because thus far we've covered about 60% of the graded items. So I think you're going to get, and so yours might say 58 out of 60, or it might say 60 out of 60, or it might say 30 out of 60. You divide 60 by the top number, and that'll give you your grade as it stands right now. And remember, at Walters State, 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, and so forth. So you should be able at this point to see what the grade is that you are making as of right now. But the good news is, if you don't like the grade you see, you still have a half a semester to improve that grade. The frightening news is, if you do like the grade you see, you still have a half a semester to mess it up. But at any rate, so let me make a few announcements here, right here at the middle of the semester. So first of all, let me do this. This is a reminder. You should know this already, but just as a reminder, how do you get graded in this course? 20% of your grade is the weekly quizzes. Thus far, we have had 7 of them. We will have 7 more by the time the course is over. The 4 lowest grades will be dropped. By the way, eLearn has so many little choices you have to make, so many little buttons you have to push, and for a while, some of you were seeing an F where it dropped your grade. I think I fixed that. I think you should now be seeing a percentage. When you look at your grade for each quiz, you should see 80 or 95 or 100 or whatever. If you look at your grades and you have an issue, please don't hesitate to get a hold of me, okay? I really don't want you to be stressed about that, unless you need to be stressed about it, and then I want to help you relieve that stress. Anyway, 20% of your final grade will be the 14 weekly quizzes, with the 4 lowest quiz grades being dropped. So your grade then will be based on the 10 best scores that you make on the 14 quizzes, 1 a week, except for the week of the midterm. That's 20% of your grade. 20% will be the midterm exam, which you just finished, so you can see what that is. 20% will be class participation, and there's 2 ways that we get that grade. We get it from the discussion boards. And generally on each discussion board, I'm going to give you a score, something out of 10, 10 being a perfect score. Generally, if you do what I ask for and do it reasonably well, you'll get a 10. And generally, if you don't do what I asked for example, if I say, please post once and reply twice, but you only post and don't reply, or you only reply once, then you're going to get less than 10. And the same thing with the response papers. That's the other thing that goes into class participation. Again, you'll get a score something out of 10. So if you answer the question in a thoughtful way, if you show me that you are learning and thinking about what you're learning, that's a 10. If you don't do what I ask, for example, you don't answer one of the questions, or you answer one of the questions with one sentence instead of the full paragraph that I asked for, you'll get less than a 10. If you don't do these things, you get a 0. Now, by the end of the semester, the accumulation of what you've done on discussion boards and response papers will add up to some number, and that number will be 20% of your final grade. The final exam, which is going to be the week of May 3rd through 7th. We'll talk more about that when we get closer to it. And then the last thing, the observation and reflection paper. This is due April the 25th. And now that we are in the second half of the semester, it's time to really start focusing on that paper. So let's talk about that paper. The idea is that we're asking you to attend a religious event. Now, because of the pandemic, you have the option to do that online. But let me say a few things about that. When I say attend a religious event online, I don't mean watch a video of something that's already happened, and particularly watch a video of something that's already happened and you only see the highlights of it. You know, you zip through and just watch a few minutes of it. No, 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 no. I want you as close as possible to experience a religious event the way the practitioners of that religion would experience it. Now, you can do that by going online, and most of the major religious traditions that we have studied will have some type of religious service that they are live streaming. And I would like you to join one of those live streams. You may do it through Facebook Live. You might do it on YouTube. And of course, if you want to put on a mask and go attend a religious event in person, you are more than welcome to do that. In fact, in some ways, I would actually prefer that because I think you'll get more of the experience. Listen to this. This religious event needs to be different from the religion you practice or grew up with or are otherwise familiar with. So, a vast majority of you probably grew up at least nominally involved in church, if not going to church every Sunday. Okay, you don't get to go to your church or another congregation of your denomination. Okay? In fact, if my preference would be that you would go all the way outside your religious tradition. So if you grew up Baptist, my preference would be that you attend a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Hindu event, or Confucian or Taoist. However, you can do something within the Christian tradition if it's a different branch of Christianity. So let me explain that. If you grew up Baptist, you don't get to attend a Methodist service, okay? That's not different enough. If you grew up Baptist, you could attend a Catholic service or an Eastern Orthodox service. If you grew up Catholic, you could attend a Protestant service like Methodist or Baptist, or a Pentecostal service. Now, if you grew up Catholic and you check out a Pentecostal event, that's going to be quite an experience for you. And that's what I'm looking for. I want you to experience something, okay? Let's see what else. After you attend this religious event that's different from the religion you practice or grew up with, then you're going to write a paper with your observations and your reflections. Let me say a few things about the paper. First of all, the prompt for this has 5 pages. Read those pages carefully, read the instructions, carefully. Be sure you take care to avoid plagiarism. If you're not sure what constitutes plagiarism, do some research on that. Go to the Walters State website, and there's a page on there about plagiarism. Please notice, if you collaborate with someone, so say, for example, you decide that you and another member of the class are going to watch an event together. You need to be very careful that you don't commit plagiarism by helping each other so much that you essentially write each other's papers. I don't know if that makes sense, but I had some people that actually did that. If another student or a family member or a friend or myself gives you an idea, you need to credit that in your paper. You need to mention that person's name. You can do it by means of a footnote, or you can do it in the text of the paper itself. You can say, for example, I was talking about this to my mother, and my mother said, but you need to give credit to ideas that are not original to you. Please be careful about that. Let me invite you to decide very, very soon what you are going to attend. Don't put this off. You need to make arrangements. If you're going to do something live and in person, you need to think about how you're going to get there and what time it's going to be. If you're going to do something online, you might have to contact the institution and ask for a Zoom link in order to participate. And if you have questions, please get a hold of me. Please get a hold of me. Don't wait. And let me make sure I made this clear. I want you to attend something specifically for this paper, okay? You don't get to write about something you attended a year ago. This needs to be something that you went into determined to observe and take careful notes and write a deep reflection paper about. Okay, yeah, don't wait until the last minute to ask for help. That's a very important point. And it's due Sunday, April the 25th. And, oh yeah, last thing here. I'm changing your weekly assignments a little bit. Don't stress. This is actually going to be good news, I think. First of all, the discussion board is going to now be every other week. Instead of a discussion board every week, what I'm going to ask you to do, we have 3 religions left. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the first week of that religion, I'm going to ask you to post something. The second week, I'm going to ask you to reply to what your classmates posted the week before. If that didn't make sense, just read the instructions carefully. The main thing you need to know is you're not going to have to do a brand new discussion post on a brand new topic every week. It's going to be one topic per the last 3 religions. Same thing with response papers. Response paper every other week from this point on. Yeah, and that's it for the midterm announcements. If you have any questions, please be sure you get a hold of me. I'm always excited to hear from you folks. Let me say one thing kind of interesting. Last semester, I never once talked to any of the students on the telephone, okay? It was all text and email. This year, I have talked to some of you, and I gotta tell you, it's just so exciting to hear your voices! You just don't know how much I wish I was doing this with you in person. And getting to know you even better. But I am kind of getting to know you through your posts and your papers and so forth. Okay, midterm announcements. That's it. Peace out.